like Alice in Wonderland.
Oh.
Tim, you're back to being John Holt again.
Yeah, if I'm on a computer, it lets me change the name, and for some reason, it's not letting me do it on my phone.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Good, how are you?
So we got the house
All
for
right,
sale
Monica, whenever
on
you're ready.
Second Street.
Okay, are we everybody there?
I mean,
Yes.
That
Okay.
one beside it would have went up, I called you.
Then we'll call the meeting. Call the meeting to order. It's 4:02. The first thing on the agenda is the March minutes, which were emailed to you. Do I have any comments for those or motions to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes as presented, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Thank you. Then the minutes have been approved. Next thing on the agenda is the March claims. I did have a couple of questions about these. I don't know if anybody else did, but I gotta find them.
So while you're finding, I'll ask. So
Please.
every like I want to see if we can get to the point where we say here in our April for it talks about where was it? The electric bill collective for all the parks. Why is that just popping up here and there? It's not like it's a catch-all every month.
It's every 45
Thank you.
days.
Yes.
So a collective bill is every 45 days.
Okay,
So we have in addition to
Okay, so the collective bill is just the parks.
So like all your security lights.
Casting, guys.
except what I was going to bring that up too, Kendra, because I noticed that, and I wasn't going to notice. I hadn't noticed that it was just now and then like you did, but it shows that we're already paying a separate bill for West Side, Freeman Field. Why are all those separate, and we're still paying something for all of them?
Because all the security lights throughout the park, that is all on the collective, to where the shop and things like that is all on the normal electric bill.
But the West Side doesn't have a shop, does it?
Yes.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, that's what has
Restrooms and a
security
garage,
lights.
yes. That's what we had the temporary service hooked up for whenever they built SEMA Al Manufacturing built the shop/restrooms for the
So
slide.
the collective electric bill is for lighting, and the electric bills are for everything else?
Correct.
So I see that back in 12 of 19 or 12 of last year. So we had a collective bill on that one, but we don't in January or February or March. So it's 90 days?
So back in December of last year, we actually did a revamp with REMC because we were getting a lot of collective bills on the Park and Rec side that should have went to other departments. For instance, we had a collective bill for 3rd Street. Well, Park and Rec didn't have anything on 3rd Street, so that was actually supposed to go to the clerk treasurer's office. So I don't know, Tracy, can you?
That's pretty much what it is. So they put it on pause, basically.
Yes.
So that we could weed out. They made a spreadsheet for us giving us addresses, because when you get the collective bill, it does not give you an address. It just says, I don't even know how it
Street lamp.
Yeah.
Street lamp, 3rd Street.
Yeah. So then I called them and said, I need more information on this, because I don't know where this is coming from.
Okay, so from December, which I realize, but if it's about security lamps and street lamps, shouldn't it be the same in December as it is now? This went from $668 to $3,300. That seems like a big gap.
Well, so that would be February, where we didn't have any kind of, what was the month before December?
There was nothing. So in December, there was $668. And then there's nothing in January and February. and here we are in March for $3,300. So either they're billing us 2 months in advance, or like what's causing that number to go up. So if even if we say that our collective bill should be $668, right, a month, that's still double plus what we should be paying. So like I would just say that like someone needs to take a look at it. That seems like an awful big jump.
It is.
For what is, if we're saying that this isn't heating and air or anything related.
And December bill would have been November bill, and we still had tournaments then going on. And
Yeah, we'll have to look at it. We will keep them, we've got contacts at RMC. We can figure out what's going on.
Okay. So I would say that we table voting or approving the balances are on the claims and move on to the 2211 and 2503.
Are you making a motion to table?
Yes.
Okay,
I'll second the table.
thank you. All in favor of tabling the March claims till next month, say aye.
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 was that the only question?
Any opposed?
I,
Okay, so we'll table that. Tracy, I did hear you ask if there was another question, and I did have another question.
I wondered.
So Kendra, I thank you for bringing that up, because that is a significant jump. The other thing that I wondered, hold on, let me find it. Oh, a little bit farther down in the water section, I know we had problems several months ago where they double charged us or something. Well, I noticed in these that we got charged twice for the community center within 3 days of each other.
Okay.
That seems off.
The community center does have 2 water bills. There's one for the actual building, and then there's one for the fire system that's in there.
So then is the third for the irrigation?
There's 3 for the community center.
I'm asking.
It should just be 2.
Okay.
The irrigation would actually be Burkhart Plaza.
Yeah. Which I don't even.
Is that beautification park?
That is the one on Tipton across from like diagonal from Papa John's, that little grassy area there. That's us.
That says something about recycling?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a little grass
Uh-huh.
area for us.
Okay.
But so Burkhart isn't on there?
Burkhart is.
They weren't turned on. We haven't
Right.
had a bill there because they get shut off for the winter time and we've not turned it on yet.
Well,
Okay.
they are now, but
Yeah.
they're not built.
And what? Tell me again what the 2 for the community center are.
Go ahead. The one is for the building overall, and then
Right.
there is actually a fire backflow water system in the community center, and they get billed for that as well.
Like for fire suppression?
Yes.
Fire suppression system.
Yes.
So they get
Well-
backflushed. So that's probably when they Corson comes and does the backflush, that's what we're getting charged for.
Okay. Okay.
Put that one
Okay.
up quick.
Does anyone else have anything else on the claims? Okay, then we will move on to the March balances for the 2211 and the 25039.
Driving a white car,
Yeah.
the horn's just going.
Oh, no, are you serious? Stupid loners. Sorry.
Somebody like, that's me, maybe somebody's in a meeting.
It was doing this yesterday and I just had to leave the keys. I was doing the same thing.
Do I have any questions or motions for the fund balances? I guess I would ask, why have we not, I would have thought that by this time of year, there would have been some income into the tournament fund balance. Because,
We've sent the bills out, they've just not paid, and Joey finally did come in to pay to get caught up, so you'll actually see that on next month's reports.
okay, thank you. Anybody else? or a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Art. All in favor of, are you're moving to approve both fund balances?
Yes,
Yes, thank you. Do I have a second for that?
second.
Second.
Thank you, Tim. All in favor of approving the 2211 and the 25039 tournament balances, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. So the fund balances are done, so we can move on to updates.
On the kiddie pool, spoke with the plumbers that have been working on it. They're looking at hopefully by the end of next week to be completed as far as the plumbing and all the electrical ran for the splash kiddie pool area. So far, everything's went great. Worked with Board of Health, met with them. Everything's in line, and so far, knock on wood, going great. The west side splash pad, we've got all the equipment delivered. The only thing that's not delivered is the tank, which is supposed to be here April 22nd.
Yep.
The crew, the Blue Aqua Pools, the crew that's going to be building the splash pad should be here later on this week just to come start doing some site prep. And their goal is to have it opened up by Memorial Day, if not shortly after. So it's going to go, they're saying probably 2.5, 3 weeks to do the entire project.
The kiddie pool, the same thing by Memorial Day.
The kiddie pool will be open as soon as the pool opens.
When is that?
Uh,
Does the pool have a date?
last weekend in May, yeah.
It's Memorial Day
Memorial
unless
Day.
the water temperature is not warm enough.
What does that mean? Presley was in my pool yesterday and it's like, has an ice layer on it still.
We don't know if it's that cold. Well, I guess we can get the mayor to do another polar plunge for a grand opening.
Well, you did last year when I put that grate on. before
Yes, we did.
They don't care what the temperature
No,
is.
it's okay.
So any questions on the kiddie pool area or the west side splash pad? Casting playground is completed, so it is now a full ADA compatible playground. If you get a chance, check it out. Nice equipment, nice flooring completed over there. We've had a request from the Discovery Channel. The Discovery Channel notified January, our public information specialist, and would like to do a covering on the, I just went blank, Reno Brothers, sorry.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
I got with the city attorney to check out our liability and things on that. She actually contacted Discovery Channel, got a lease agreement, basically a contract agreement between them. She agreed on everything. I actually took that to Board of Works this past Thursday. Board of Works did approve it. So looking for your guys' approval also, and they would be coming sometime in May to do this. So
Why do we have to be involved? What
just,
is it?
it's just getting your
Are
guys'
they-
approval also, just as a board.
Are they going to the parks?
Just to the city cemetery.
City cemetery.
Oh.
Which we're
has
over
the
the city
Oh,
cemetery.
I
access
understand.
to.
Gotcha.
I took my kids out there one day. We was walking to the golf course, did some balls. And I said, let's go look at this grave plot over here. I said, you know anything about that? None of them knew. I had 100 kids, none of them. We never, we don't know anything about it. I said, well, the Reno brothers are buried here. They were bank robbers and this and that. I said, one of them said, well, they all got killed the same day. And the other one said, well, must have been a car wreck. I said, hey, time out. I said, go check the date out. Oh, boy.
That's good.
Must have
That's
been a
good
car.
stuff.
I move to approve Seymour being on TV.
Thank you.
Okay.
I like Tim's motion.
I'll second that all day.
Thank you.
Fucker.
All in favor of allowing the Discovery Channel to be in the city cemetery, say aye.
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 Any opposed?
What is he doing?
Okay.
Sounds like a bear.
Next update, basically it's two different courses. Carrie and myself and a few members from other departments took a tree stewards course down in Scottsburg. It was a 2-day course. Basically kind of involves Tree City USA. It was very informative, especially the second day. Carrie and myself just kind of looked at each other several times whenever they were teaching us things, and we were like, okay, we know which way to do that now. So very, very good course. Glad we took it. Carrie even won a prize for picking out all the correct tree leaves off of
Leaves,
trees on a piece of
natural
paper.
leaves of
So,
trees.
Congratulations,
Well done,
Gary.
Gary.
Well done.
and
Do you
You
have
got a
Gordon-
trophy?
and then
Do you have Gordon Reynolds for
I
biology?
was just thinking
I
the
did.
same thing.
That's
Gordon
did.
Randalls would be
That's why
proud.
you knew.
And then, of course, I was proud of him for that. And then there was another little contest. They had a tree trunk, and you had to guess the age of the tree, and I nailed it on the spot of 60 years old. So we both walked out with prizes for the day, for the 2 days. So.
And you're making us look really smart too.
What'd you get, a week in Yellowstone?
No, we actually won the same prize, and it was a poster. It says "How a Tree Grows," and so it's a pretty good sized poster. That
It was.
Those the rings on it?
Nobody,
Yeah.
no, you could have won $1 million, right? Nobody has to know.
Well, Chad broke it down. You know.
the next one was a poverty simulation that Allie and Tracy took, and I'll let them tell you about that. One of you, Allie.
With the smart comments.
So
It's our life.
Yeah.
So
It was,
it was very, very informative though.
it
I
was.
think.
I think a lot of people were shocked to see how it could be if these were the finances that you were given. Each family had different financial
Yes.
plans,
Yes.
different situations that had happened in the beginning, and they had lined up a bank and a job and child care services, and Kendra was there. What else was there?
Like, you had to like pay all of your bills, and
Yeah.
then sometimes like that your transmission went out of your car, like you were delivered like bad things that happen.
Yes.
I think it should be required for all elected officials. Everyone.
Is it in school
agree.
too? It sounds like it ought to be in school.
And it is not. So it
Like
is.
like
This is only the fourth
economics.
time that they have done it.
I will say
Is
they
this
did
bridges
have
out of property thing?
Sort of. Yeah, it's it's that same line of thinking. Yes,
Oh, but it's a different program.
I think so.
JCIDC, they did that. You remember last
Reality
year we worked
fair.
at,
Reality
yes,
fair,
we did. So I would say that's like their version of the poverty stimulation for middle schoolers, just to kind of give them an idea on how to
I was
budget.
scheduled to go, but I had the tree steward, so I couldn't be at both.
No, it really
can't
is
be
a good.
treated
It's an
You're not doing
it's
this
an
to
eye-opening experience for people in our community because
Yeah.
I always say that everybody's starting line is different.
Yeah, like my family had no idea what cash advance facility was or a car title, and I'm just like, wow, I guess I did not realize people did not know these things.
Right.
Mhm.
So it was cool.
Did you win any prizes?
I did not. I did
No,
not win any prizes.
We did not.
So-
I did
Hey,
get to go to a
have free
field trip because I was an
breakfast.
8-year-old boy,
We did too.
which was really
Did
cool
you?
for me because I always had to be the parent that was in charge of my finances. So it was cool to be the kid and just go to school.
Yeah, I know. That's what I did. I was a kid. Yeah.
But it was cool.
So as you can see, we're, as a department, we're finding other things to go out and take part in and be involved with all the community partners and things like that. So we're gonna continue doing things like that, so. Any questions on the updates?
I was just gonna say, looking at the minutes from last month and the becoming pool and aquatics experts, and then now tree experts and poverty experts. It's just like you guys are you're very busy. You're making me tired looking at what you're becoming experts in. But yeah, so kudos to you guys. Keep it up.
Yeah, just, since Tim brought that up, Carrie and I do,
Or
Rick,
take a break. Or take a break. You know.
we do leave Tuesday evening for 2 days worth of training for certified pool operators. So the three of us will be taking that course, and that's in Roachdale, Indiana.
Now, is the person running the pool going with you?
So Boggs actually took his own course.
The
So
Boggs is still gonna run the city pool?
Dave is coming back to help us this year, yes. Dave and Chris.
Well, I knew they couldn't give it up.
I was able to talk them out of retirement at least for 1 year.
Nice
That's
job.
the reason we are taking the certified pool operating course,
Good.
so we can have not 1, not 2, but 3 certified, as long as we all pass.
You'll win prizes.
Yeah.
Their second retirement party might be a little awkward.
It might All right, incidents.
You want me to do that?
I can if you want me to.
Okay, I can.
Go ahead.
At Geyser Park, we had a restroom, a sink was pulled off the wall, about a week ago.
Yeah.
About a week ago, we come in, and the sink was down, there was water. Actually, Chad got a call, he called me because he didn't have any keys with him, he was in town, he didn't have a key, so we both met over at Geyser, and, he actually got in and, got the water turned off, but there was water running and the sink off, so we just, that was actually on a Friday, wasn't it? So we just shut one restroom down for the weekend, because there's 2 restrooms there. We shut one up, locked one of them up, and then Monday we come in and fixed it. But, yeah, didn't really cost us anything. They just, like the P-trap and underneath was done, then we bolted it back against the wall.
Basically
made
the
it a little
same
more
sink
secure.
that happened last year, but last year
Yeah.
it was a ceramic style
Ceramic.
sink, and we actually put a stainless steel sink in, so they couldn't break it.
Just
So-
like jail.
But they
Yeah.
pulled the stainless steel away
Oh,
from
yeah.
the wall. What about today? Should I say anything about today's?
You can.
Or next, say next time. Today we come in, and at Geyser, I got pictures I sent Tracy and Chad. Our security light on our shop there, somebody had busted the light. I don't know if they threw a rock. I don't have any clue, but there was glass all over the place. And it just security light, and it's 20 feet in the air, maybe 15 feet in the air. So somebody's busted it out, and we cleaned it all up today. So
We don't have any trailers sitting over there, right?
yes, we do.
Park trailers? I thought they all went inside the fire department.
That's what I thought.
They won't
We've
all
got
fit in there.
the ball trailer that's stations at Geyser, because it's so big. and
Like
we-
in my mind, that's what I hear. Like, do we plan on like having an extra bolt and lock on our trailers if somebody's,
We do
knocking
have-
out the?
We do have them locked up.
Okay.
And normally, if we have a trailer somewhere parked somewhere, it's got a padlock on it, plus we try to put a truck in front of it so they can't
Okay.
back up to it,
Okay.
even if they do cut the lock.
Okay.
But our big incident happened Monday, early, probably late Sunday night, I'm guessing, but we had 8 tires cut
Oh, yes.
at the Fifth Street shop off of 3 trucks and 1 trailer. So we had a police report done on that. Ended up being, you'll see it on next month expenses, a little over $1,200 worth of damage
Yeah.
to tires that had to be replaced.
Like they slashed them or they stole them?
Well,
Slash
it kind of looks like, you know how now, not that I know this,
I was
but
just
you
thinking-
walk by and you got your knife and you
Uh-huh.
stab the top of the tires. They
It
were
was
all
all
at
on
the
the very
top of the
top,
tires.
within this much, between
Yeah.
11 o'clock and 1 o'clock on the top of the tire.
Yeah.
Remind me, we don't
We had
have
to-
cameras throughout. Like, we
No,
don't
but
have a
that was-
camera at Geyser.
That was my next, since that is considered our main shop now, I would like to probably purchase a set of cameras, and I've been looking on Amazon for about $200. We can get 4 cameras, put one on each corner of the building. We've just got too much money involved in that shop and trucks and trailers to, a couple $100.
I mean, there is security lights there. I mean, it's lit up pretty good, but
There's been a
Were the trucks and
rash of-
trailers inside or outside?
Outside.
outside truck.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't that make noise? Like, isn't that loud? Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
I expected it to be like a big boom. Okay.
You need to hang out with the rebels. You can recognize that.
I mean, I'm not sure if that's the exact noise, but I'm guessing.
Pretty loud.
I've done a lot of things, but clearly not slash tires.
So that's covers all the incidents. Any questions on the incidents? Okay, programs.
Okay, spring soccer has officially started and it is going well. Our adult co-ed dodgeball tournament, we had 3 teams. The community Easter egg hunt, I believe that it was a really good turnout. Did you have anything you wanted to say about that, or? No? Okay. Pamper Tea for 2, we maxed out at 50 this year, and it was a great turnout. Very thankful for all of our volunteers and everyone that donated. We could not have done it without them. Spring mixology class will be May 11th at Brewski's downtown from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. and it is $35 per person. Sips and Succulents will be at the community center this year on May 15th from 6 to 8 p.m. and it is $40 per person. Men's Summer Softball League, we currently have no teams signed up. Tracy is actively reaching out to factories to get more people involved, but it is something that she is trying to find people to be able to do the league. We've had several people reach out interested in starting a team, but it's a work in progress.
I think that there's a lot of Seymour people that play at Columbus.
There
For
is, and
softball specifically, they
and I've
have like
got 3
40 some
teams.
teams this year.
yeah, I've got 3 teams that want to play this summer, but they're waiting to see if we get any more teams to sign up.
I think that we just lost him. You know what I mean? Over the years of,
How many kids you end up with the soccer?
400 something, wasn't it?
I said 423 in the thing, but
430 something.
If I could pull up.
the minutes I think said 423.
Well, that's okay. Over 400?
Over 400.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, counting coaches and all, I ordered right at 500 shirts. So that
Okay.
gives you an idea of.
Do you want me to tell you
If you want.
I just have that.
Yeah, you'd have to add it up.
Okay, that's good.
Since you asked those numbers, Art, just so you know, the Seymour Youth League had 457 signups this year.
Okay.
So that should be getting a check from them soon. They were cutting it this week for like $22.85.
Now, do they play 2 games a week
Who's
or
that?
1 game?
Soccer? Soccer is 1 game a week.
1 game a week. And how many weeks is it?
Depending on how many teams is in each division, but at least 6, if not 8 weeks. And then the U16 will also have a tournament, double elimination tournament. So they're usually 10 weeks.
Okay.
Any questions on programming? Emily, reservation requests?
Okay. Sasha Sitterding reached out with Jackson County Chamber about their chamber picnics at Crossroads. That ranges from May to August. We have everything. We have their insurance. And then they also reserved it for their Christmas at Crossroads. That is December 6th. And then we had Jane Norman reached out for Seymour Meals on Wheels. She wants to have a volunteer appreciation picnic on June 19th.
June 19th at Crossroads.
Yes, at Crossroads, sorry.
I'll make a motion that we accept the 3 reservation requests as presented.
I'll second.
Thank you. Before we vote, I know I ask this every time, but I assume that both of these, does the chamber qualify as a nonprofit?
Yes.
So so that we're not charging them for these rentals, reservations, correct?
Let us look, because I think we charge them for that,
I
Monica.
thought we charged them.
Well, she said that you had the COI, but I didn't know if, but she didn't mention money, so I didn't know.
Well,
I'd be
upon
shocked if they're a nonprofit.
Yeah, I think.
What'd you say?
I'd be shocked
pay.
if they are.
I think, yes. So I did tell Seymour Meals on Wheels that they had to pay, but I don't know about chamber.
And Meals on Wheels, I would expect it was a nonprofit, so shouldn't pay.
That I would assume.
But the chamber, I would be shocked to hear that they are. I don't know the answer because I've never dealt with them, but
But I definitely would rather not charge Meals on Wheels because I'm sure they're I'm sure they're a nonprofit, aren't they?
If not, yeah.
Yes, they are.
So has Meals on Wheels already paid?
No, they have not.
No, nobody's paid yet.
Oh, okay. Okay. So before we vote on the, I mean, I've got a motion and a second, but before we have a vote, I guess, is that going, you're going to verify before and see if they need to pay?
So they did not pay in August of 23.
For the Christmas at Crossroads.
I guess for me, like, well, we approve the request, like the admin side of like whether they pay or not is up to them. Just follow the guidance that we've already got established would be my guess.
So Ally just looked it up. For Christmas at Crossroads last year, we did not charge the chamber.
That's the invoice says we did. Anyways, but I don't know if
I
they
wouldn't,
would've
what
paid
would they be
anyway.
profiting? How could they be a for-profit? Oh, they do take money, but
Yeah,
what's
they
that
take
for?
in lots of,
They do.
I mean, there are
For-
nonprofits that take in lots of
Does it
money, but
mention it in our contract with them?
I don't know.
So
I didn't
the-
write the contract up.
Typically, I don't think we've charged them for that. I think it's probably not in your MOU, is it, Chad?
It is, no, the only thing, it just shows the dates and the usage.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think we've charged them before, but that's without looking it up.
Charge them for what?
The rental
For
of
using
Crossroads.
for the picnics or Christmas at Crossroads.
Well, but the thing is, the picnics have always been downtown, haven't they? Where they don't have to make a reservation, right?
No, they're at
Oh,
Crossroads.
they're at Crossroads.
Yeah, they've been
Well, they are
Crossroads
now,
for years.
but previously they were at
They-
One Chamber Square.
Uh-huh.
that was a long time
In
ago.
2019, 2020, we redid.
2020 was probably when it was opened back up.
I'll call you back in a little bit. I'm in a meeting.
I mean, I don't have a problem partnering with them and not charging them for it, but that's
They do have a nonprofit branch also. Like they've got a foundation, if you will, that they could.
kind of like our Park Foundation Fund. We're a 501c3.
So I would say that like we shouldn't charge them. If they haven't been charged before, there's no sense in starting now, and I wouldn't want to. We have enough issues going on. We don't need to ruffle more
I don't
feathers.
have a problem with that, but I think that, especially if they're not an official nonprofit, that probably the board needs to put that in its vote, because otherwise they need to pay because they would have to follow the same rules that everybody else does.
I'll make a motion that the chamber does not pay, because we're good neighbors.
Okay. Would you like to make that a little bit more specific to this instance, or in perpetuity or something?
I mean, do we ever charge them for anything? Why shouldn't we just do it all at once? And
I mean, these
Well,
are
that's-
their two main events they hold with us
Oh.
each year. I mean, they really
So-
don't
which
hold
is
any
Christmas at Crossroads
Christmas
and
at
the-
Crossroads and all the
Chamber
chamber
picnic.
picnics.
I'll make a motion that the Seymour Chamber is free of charge for the chamber picnics and for Christmas at Crossroads. 2024, Monica.
Just for 2024 or in perpetuity?
In perpetuity, Monica.
Thank
For
you.
200. You're welcome.
Do I have a second for that?
Second.
Forever. Ongoing.
Thank you, Art. All in favor of allowing the Crossroads Park to be reserved for free for the chamber picnics and for the Christmas at the Crossroads forever, say aye.
Hi.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. Now, I still have a motion and a second on the floor to approve all three of the reservations, both the chamber ones and the Meals on Wheels. Is there any more discussion on that before a vote?
Call a vote.
Okay, all in favor of approving all three of the reservation requests on today's agenda, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, those are good.
I do have a couple miscellaneous items.
Okay.
Last year, you guys might remember when we dedicated the Steve Combs Field of Dreams. that actual ceremony will take place April 24th at 5 p.m. at Shields Park. The family will be there. If any or all of you could make a possibility to be there, it would be great to show support, because you guys were the ones that approved and helped us get this approved. So once again, April 24th at 5 p.m. at the Shields Big Diamond.
Thank you.
Next one that I have, just to give you a little follow-up, did talked in the past about the Visitor Center grant that I applied for. I went and actually presented to the Visitor Center board last week, and I should know this Wednesday whether we get this grant or not for $20,000. So that'll go towards the lighting project that we've been working on. So if anybody would like to see it, I do have a copy of what I submitted. That's all the miscellaneous I have. Any miscellaneous from any other park employees?
I want to thank you guys for the job you're doing.
Yeah, you're all doing a
Thank
great
you,
job.
Art.
I think the park department's running pretty well. A
We're
lot of
might-
improvements, a lot of new things for the kids to do. Yeah, you're doing a good job.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
It's wearing us out, Art.
You too.
Get him out there on a lawnmower, Carrie.
Huh?
Get him out there on a lawnmower. Art, I'm talking about you.
I gotta have one more surgery.
And then you're ready.
That's 12.
Oh, gosh.
And either I'm ready or I'm not gonna be here one of the other.
You're gonna be ready.
You're ready.
You're gonna be
You
here.
ain't leaving us, Art.
Well, I made it through the last one. It was 7 hours, so I guess I can make it through this one, but I just want to get this done so bad. We'll be okay.
You'll be okay.
Hey, Chad.
Yes.
Chad, the Steve Combs Field event you requested us to be at.
Yes.
Will that be in the minutes, or could you send an email just reminding?
Yeah, I'll send out an email, or Tracy or Emily will one. But yes, I'll even text you like I do the park board meetings, give you a little friendly reminder.
Okay.
I do like your reminder.
That'd be awesome.
Can you, I know I've asked before and I apologize, remind me who maintains the Mellencamp music sign at the interstate?
Oh.
Who takes care of that? Like the landscaping?
DPW.
DPW actually does that.
Oh, really? I was
Yeah.
trying,
It's a partial between depends on the section. DPW and I think it's Natural Scapes has part of the contract as well.
it's the landscaping.
Okay.
I was hoping I was gonna, well, I did try to nominate it for the day of caring. But it was evidently like the city's responsibility, maybe, is how it was posed back, that it really shouldn't be a day of caring project, but it needs some care. And I'm up for helping.
I can ask, I will see Dixon and staff in the morning and I'll check.
It should, I mean, it just needs a spring sprucing.
If that's the case, and you're willing to do that as co-chair of United Way, Day of Caring, we could put that project in if
Well,
we
I
get
did. I
approval
talked,
from the
I
city
talked,
department.
oh, really? Because I talked about that, but they acted like that's not really what Day of Caring's for. It's not really for like city stuff.
When is the day of caring?
May 9th.
May now?
Most years have some parks projects mixed in.
Really?
It's usually like later in the day when they'll tackle those.
I feel like they have a
Yeah.
million volunteers and needed projects last week. What changed?
What'd you
Right,
say? They
currently,
need-
There
as
was like
of,
a million volunteers and they
They
needed
need
projects.
projects.
as of this morning, we have 87 projects.
And how many volunteers?
I was told around 600.
Wow.
So we need more projects?
Our goal is 100
Unbelievable,
projects,
isn't it?
Oh,
600 people.
yeah, well, I'm just gonna try again to nominate them.
which I have.
What do we call it? It's not the Mellencamp sign. What do we call that thing out there?
The welcome sign to Seymour.
Yes, well.
Welcome sign.
On Sandy Creek.
What'd you say?
On Sandy Creek Drive.
Sandy Creek. I'll try again. Need some color.
Any other miscellaneous park board members?
So I'm going to go on the record here and say that the next few seconds need to remember that we are on the record. So make sure that you're speaking in facts and not emotion. So via the email, it was discussed about not being able to pursue the trail expansion and updating the master parks plan. So I know that, we were, gonna discuss, so I'm gonna open the floor to let people ask the questions that they may have.
So just to
Well,
make,
I'm the, oh,
go ahead, Tim.
well, I feel like whatever you're gonna say is way more important.
Well, just to give a quick rundown, we basically had 6 items that was on the study. Creating park space out at 340 North, which we were currently trying to turn that into a food forest area. Also working with the tree board for Tree City USA. So that was one. Basically filling in the gaps on the expansions on the trail system was 2. And of course, creating our new master plan. I just actually went through the entire master plan this morning. It's actually 56 pages long, and we are 99.9% accomplished getting our 5-year master plan done already. So that's another one. And just so everybody knows, in order for us to get grants through DNR, we have to have a 5-year master plan. So our master plan is actually good until 2025. I've got some copies up here if anyone would like to have one. The next one,
Can we go back to the master plan real quick?
Sure.
How'd we pay for it before? The master plans.
so this is actually done, Eric Fry is actually the guy that actually helped us do this back in 2021.
That we had a
Late
grant
2020.
paid for that one?
No, so this is just something that we put together as a department through all of our community input sessions and things like that, what the community thinks that we need
Right.
to improve on. And I'm not sure how they are
ARA is who, Eric worked for ARA at the time, he's now moved on to the city of Columbus. But ARA at that time did the master plan for free, actually, the 5-year plan. With the new director at ARA, I don't know if this upcoming version will be free, but they did a good enough job on it the last time that I feel like we should entertain the conversation with them again, so.
Is that the first time we've had a 5-year plan, this last one?
No, it's the most recent update, but we've had it off and on, as far back as I can remember.
I just wonder like who was paying for it before?
We've been a part owner of ARA since 50 years ago.
Part owner.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
I
there's 13
understand.
cities that are founding members of ARA. So we pay our annual dues, and I don't know if they've done every one of them or not.
Gotcha.
For my time, but.
I'm just confused as to what all the money that we're not gonna be qualified for now. I'm still just confused how it affects the drawing up of the master plan.
So it's not actually the drawing up of the master plan, so we have to have the master plan to be able to apply for DNR grants. So it's not money to pay for this, it's money that we could possibly get because of this for the future.
And the resolution that was passed is preventing us from drafting our next 5-year.
basically the
master
resolution
plan.
that was passed. Anything that was in that Brookings study has come to a halt. It's considered dead at this time until a new resolution's passed saying that Parks Department can continue on these. The only things that can continue on the Brookings study is any of the nonprofits. We can't control that. You know, if a nonprofit wants to continue doing what they're doing, we have no control over that. But as a city, it was voted on to pass that resolution, and we have to shut it down until, and I hate those words, but
I just
until
wondered,
it's redone.
but I don't understand why the Brookings Institute money has anything to do with a 5-year master plan.
There's no Brookings Institute money. IEDC paid for the Brookings study.
Uh-huh,
This was identified as one of the 13 tasks out of the study.
right,
But with the resolution doing a blanket shutdown of anything from that study, council has basically said that we can't work on it as a city.
right.
So right now, we're stuck in a conundrum of the 6 items that were parks connected.
Right.
We can't work on it until council amends or passes a different resolution.
Right. I'm sorry to act so confused. I'm just still confused on what that has to do with having a 5-year master plan that we've always had anyway, right? Haven't we always done a 5-year master plan? So
Basically,
why
sometimes they
is,
last a year or two, but
so then why is this new issue per se affecting something we've always done. We've always had a 5-year, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just confused. Why is it different now? Is what I'm
The
saying.
council voted 5-1-1.
Right.
To cancel anything connected to the Brookings study.
I know, but we've always done a 5-year master
But
plan.
it's mentioned in the study.
It's mentioned in the
I,
study.
I think what they're getting at, Bethany, is that not that we have to do or not do a 5-year master plan. I think they're trying to tell us that we can't complete everything that's in our current 5-year plan because of the resolution. Is that correct?
Not exactly, because the one piece that is in there from the last 5-year plan was to keep an eye out for future park projects, future parks. So to use the two housing pieces that were in the study, ultimately what parks would have done at that time is to make sure that if somebody is developing a large swath of land, that they were considering to make sure there was parks in the
Gotcha.
Indoor recreational facility was mentioned in the study. So I don't feel like with the way the resolution was passed, that Chad or Tracy or Emily or any of them can, in good conscience, go forth and have a conversation with the school system, or SNCC or anybody. So ultimately, what we're stuck in a spot here where parks can't work on these 6 items until something changes. So that the master plan is just one of those 6 items. The Trails Connectors, I know Trails Committee the other day, and I'm pointing to Kendra because she's on it. Trails Committee the other day asked about applying for a grant. We can't apply for that grant because it's named in the study.
The trail system was named in the study. So those are what can't be addressed.
We can't go, the 6 items in the email are what we can't go work on.
Okay, I understand. But if we think of different things, or if there's different, we can surely focus on other things that weren't included, in the study that would then make it excluded from moving. Like
the park, the food forest is one of the items
right. But like if we think of, hypothetically something else, we can still proceed. It just can't be with those things.
Those 6 items.
Okay, I understand.
Or something can be presented to council as a recommendation from the park board. This is why we would like to continue on these items. Now they can come back and amend the resolution to where, we want the Parks Department to continue the items on the study, which would be my recommendation, but I'm not on council. But I think if something comes from the board and is presented to the council, then I think it's a good possibility that we may get an amended resolution in our favor.
Did the Tree City Board take any, or not the tree board, sorry.
We discussed it today at our meeting.
Okay.
And as on the tree board, myself and Doug Greger will be presenting something to council as far as on the tree board. So I don't think, with me going and presenting for the tree board, I think I'm going to need your guys' help as a park board to come up with either a letter of recommendation or something like that and present it to council. And I'd be willing to sit in and work or on it, whatever you guys need help with, but that's my recommendation.
Who formally has to go to city council to make the request? Is it
You.
Can it be
Ideally, Tim,
the board versus the staff?
Ideally, Tim, I would rather. I think it would basically fall in line of command. You've got president, vice president, and then the rest of the board members. I mean, I think if we could get the entire board there, to show the support towards the Parks Department on your guys' recommendation of what we can and can't continue on, I think would be more in everyone's favor as far as our department goes.
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. I mean, I have to think there are other, I don't know, are there any other city entities affected by the resolution that it would just be the evening of people making their requests? But in my mind, it just makes sense that out of the 6 items,
Parks.
you all as park staff direct us on, are we going to request to be able to continue work on all 6, or the ones at least that you feel like are most, binding for you and preventing you from being able to move forward, and we go and do that.
Well, for instance, the 340 North South O'Brien, the food forest, I would love to continue working on that. That's I think just a great project that we can make another green space area for people. In the future, they can come out and pick the fruit off the trees if they want them. I just think that's a great project. Of course, the master plan, we want to keep the master plan. We want to be able to do that, and that way we can continue applying for grants and DNR grants. I mean, there's all kinds of grants through DNR that you can apply for. It's, like I say, you guys just need to come up with your recommendation and present it to where we can try to get something amended on the resolution.
So trying to include the 5-year plan is because we want ARA to actually do it for us, right? Versus having to spend man hours on the staff.
Well, we can't
Who
even-
did it before?
No, we can't even do it. The way it stands right now, we can't even work on it.
No, I know, but who did
ARA.
the before ARA? Who did the 5-year plan?
I'm not sure who did it.
Okay.
We couldn't even have somebody else do it the way this is currently. There's no working on the 5-year plan until something changes.
Even if we pick different items.
Right. I mean, you can work on different items, yes, but any of these 6 items are dead in the
Right.
water until something changes from the council perspective.
But we can do a 5-year plan, just it cannot include that.
No.
No, okay.
No, because it was named in the study.
Would you, Chad, or whoever, would you be willing to, I'm be willing to email us the list of those 6 specific things that were affected by the resolution, so I can see those and think about them?
Yeah, I can resend it out. I believe it's already. Yeah, I can do that. I can do that. Send it out.
I think it's in that thread from just the other day, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's from Friday, and I abbreviated it just to keep from typing a book.
I really like things to be dumbed down.
Oh, what was there email discussion about this?
Not discussion.
It wasn't a discussion. It was just informational email.
I called in sick Friday, so I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So if it's already been sent out, then never mind.
It was actually Friday at 3:17 p.m. when it got sent out.
Oh, okay. So then never mind. I'm not caught up on my email because I was sick and now I'm on vacation, so I apologize. Is there any, do we think on that as a board and as a staff and talk about it next month? Or is there anything to be done now?
Raise hell.
I think that, I think there's just clarity, because I felt like, and I'm not trying to make it messier, but I felt like, hey, Chad, tell us any and all of the 6 that you want us to go and make the request at City Council, and let's do it. And then you said that, I think you were saying we should do that. But I just feel like in my mind, you all as a staff could direct us as, your advocates really in this scenario.
I tend to agree.
Which of the 6, and then we'll go do it, right? Like, I'm happy to, and I think any of us would be, but it just feels like you guys are the ones who, looking at the 6, would be like, hey, yeah, are we just going to go for all 6? Maybe even just because?
Well, there's going to be a couple
4 because
that we can't do unless it's a total amended resolution. I mean, there's some things here correspond with some other things that were being done. So, I mean, we're going to have to pick out the ones that we can continue just solely on our department, because we're not sure what kind of amended resolution. We can't go in and request, let's just say something is with DPW. We can't go in and request that DPW gets we're gonna have to leave that on,
Can we go and say we want to do food forest
we could,
and the master
And the master
plan,
plan and-
but that's it?
yes.
I mean, hypothetically, I'm just
Yes,
asking,
yeah, we
can we pick and
yeah.
choose?
I was gonna say, do you want me to run through the 6?
Sure.
And I'll try to give you the amended version again, that way it's, so the first one is 2.3, which is the food forest on South of Bryan Street. The next one is to fill in the gaps on the trail system, which is 3.1. 3.2 is to create the parks master plan. 4.2 would be to make sure that there's parks conversation if a developer decides to build something. 5.1 would be the same thing. Both those are 2 different subdivisions. And last but not least is the new indoor recreational facility conversation in 6.1. So there's the 6 that you're looking at.
I mean, they all make sense to me. I don't know the intricacies of new neighborhood developments and how those would potentially, come into our city despite the Brookings thing or not. I mean, because there are new neighborhoods in Seymour since I've been living here. So like, I feel like the first 5 all make sense in my head to go and make the request of. I don't know where you as a park staff that we've really, discussed that a ton in our meetings. And so if that feels like, that's a ways off and potentially not part of a 5-year and that we're creating for 25 to 30, then I feel like that could potentially be left off. But if you feel like a reason to,
So what do we do? Like take a vote? How do we?
What if we just took the food forest and the 5-year plan to the city council?
I feel like we need more.
Or trails?
More. We need more.
Well,
we
at
need
least,
we need more. We need to say like we want more. We deserve more. We had an idea for forward progress and not let off the gas pedal.
but Kenda, this way, we'll keep moving. If we give them 2 of them, and then maybe another 6 months, we come back and give them some more. But I just think
We
I
at
don't
least need
think
a
we need to
5-year
flood
plan.
them. I don't think we need to flood the council with all this. Okay? I would say if we could get to 2 and
Or what about
Two.
trails in the 5-year plan? I mean, haven't we talked about trails for like 37 years? Like, can some not take more priority over, like, I love the food forest. That sounds awesome. I want to pick peaches. But like, I don't know about if we have to, be a little bit more
But
particular.
like Mayor Matt said, and I'm on the Trails Committee also, and we can't even apply for a grant that's available right now for the $4.5 billion that's out there that's available.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
can't even do that.
I know
right
some
now.
are going to want them all. The only ones that I would be interested in is the 5-year plan and the trail system. No offense to the apples. But like, that's what I'm saying. Other people will have different opinions. So like, how do you,
Facility inside.
is it just like a majority?
Yeah, no, I mean, you probably need a simple majority of whatever you request.
But there's so many options.
No, that's the thing, because realistically, the 2 subdivision pieces are the smallest interaction for you guys. The other 4, you are very much in the middle of those conversations. Well, you guys maybe not, but your park director and staff are.
How many times a week do you see somebody say, we need a YMCA, right? We had the opportunity to be able to get an indoor community center for our community. Like, I don't feel like we should let off that gas pedal at all. Like, this is what our people want. Like, just somebody cue the Twisted Sister. Like, we're not going to take it. Let's go.
I just can't support the whole thing. Like, I wish I could share your opinion. So I was like, yeah. I can't. You know what I
So
mean?
Is
So
it,
like, I don't know
wait,
how, like,
I'll ask them.
for Art and Bethany, is it because you're afraid if we go with too many, the council's going to react to that adversely and be like, no, like, because it's too complicated or there's too much, or I don't understand, because all
my,
advocating for the park staff for the work that they were already going to be doing. So unless the park staff is how I feel, like I'm here for the park staff. If they're telling me, oh, we don't feel strongly about these of the 6 because they came out of Brookings, but we weren't that interested or keen on doing it anyway, then I'm like, oh yeah, I'll follow your direction. I won't advocate for that then at all. But if they're saying, again, like Mayor Matt was saying, the ones related to the neighborhood development is largely out of our control anyway. But if the other 4 are things that the park staff were going to be working on, possibly including in the next 5-year plan that can't even be drafted right now, then I think that's our responsibility to go to the council and speak to that so they can do their jobs. Like I mean, maybe I'm misunderstanding it, but the city council right now has passed something limiting the city workers from doing their jobs. And so if it takes us going and speaking to the council so that they can do their jobs, then we go with the 4 bullet points.
I fully support the parks, the
So
park
Bethany,
staff.
I think so what I'm asking, as recommending, is going to support the Parks Department stuff. That's all you guys would be recommending. Any of that other stuff that's out there that has nothing to do with
But it's
parks,
all
you
or
guys,
nothing, all 6 or nothing.
well, a couple of them, filling in the gaps, in the Freeman Village, that's not being done. That's at a shutdown.
No, I
So we
understand.
can't do
If you're,
anything
if you're
there
asking me
until-
to show up like in support, I don't support in its entirety. I obviously,
6 items don't you support?
the only ones I would be interested in saying I support this is the 5-year plan and the trail system.
Okay, so why don't you support the food forest as a park board member?
I'm not saying that I don't support it, I just don't think it should be, I don't think it's time sensitive. I don't find it to be super pressing. It's not been started.
It has been
It
started.
has been.
started.
Okay, then
All 6 of
I
these
still
items are things
just,
that
I
you've
still just
identified
don't
before.
see that it's time pressing as a 5-year plan, so at least we can proceed on other things.
But
And the trail
also,
system.
just so I can throw this out there, our mission statement as a Parks Department is to continuously find new land and promote, basically healthy happenings. To me, that's our finding of a green space area. Basically, cost us nothing as a department because it was turned over to the city. The city gave it to the Parks Department. So I mean, that's something that we're doing to fulfill our mission statement that every one of these employees as a Parks member has hung on their wall. And that's something I want to continue to improve on, is making sure that we do continue to follow our mission statement as a department. So just
Chad, would the food forest be part of the 5-year plan, 2025 to 2030?
if I have
In
anything
your-
to do with it,
in
yes,
your-
it would be. Because I know how important
So then
trees are to a community, and as far as being a Tree City USA, I know the time and energy that I spent on the 2 grants to fulfill that for the city. Yes, if I could
And
do it, I would have it on there.
Yeah, and like Bethany, I know that you support the park staff. I wasn't calling that into question. I was just stating how things seem to me, like as simply as I could. So I definitely know you support the park staff. But again, like what it boils down to in my mind is if one of those bullet items of the 6, you were saying, hey, let's make it so that they can work on the 5-year plan. But if one of the bullet items would be part of the 5-year plan, then we need to go and advocate for that, right? Like, otherwise, we're saying, hey, let's make it so they can work on a 5-year plan, but limit them as a parks department.
I mean, I think 3 of 6 is a good compromise, but you certainly don't need, I mean, if you guys were all to vote and I'm the only one saying I don't like all of that, I mean, you don't need it to be unanimous. I mean, like, you know, nothing personal. For me, you know.
Well, okay, so even if we were to request or show our support for 2 of them or all 6 of them, that's not something we can do till next month, correct? Because doesn't the city council meet tonight?
No,
Oh,
next week.
next week, okay. But so we would need to, what, go before city council next week?
Or in 3 weeks.
Oh, do they meet every 2 weeks?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Second and fourth Mondays.
Oh, interesting. So I know, Chad was supposed to leave 8 minutes ago. What if we take this discussion home and think about it and then resume it via email?
Can we do one thing and bring it up in front of city council hypothetically next week and then maybe do another one after, or my question is, do we have to ask for anything to be adjusted at one time?
I don't think you
Don't you
necessarily.
think they'll get tired of hearing from us if we do it too many times?
And the flip side.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know if you necessarily need to have ask city council per item per se. But all 6 items on here are identified in your previous master plan. You will probably put them into your next master plan. What you need to encourage them though is to lose the cancel culture version that they put out there and put in something to where they can actually analyze what is in it and go through it. Because you've been working on all 6 of these items in the past. You will probably work on them again in the future. But right now we're worried about whether it's 1 or 6. And these are things
I'm just trying to understand.
as a board.
I'm just trying to understand.
I mean, you already as a department, as a board, worked on.
I thought Food Forest was I thought we were calling it Finley Forest last year. I guess
we were, but that's a
I
great
wasn't,
example because it was.
but apologies, I didn't understand that had already started. I thought we were still talking names.
Yeah, no, that was something that we had land that we were trying to figure out what to do with besides mow it.
Yeah.
We gave it to Parks and Rec at it was before the end of 22.
I remember. I like the idea, so apologies. I didn't know it started.
Like I said, the big thing is, I'll take it a different route than what Chad said, and that would be that I would encourage you all to encourage the council to take a deep breath, step back, and go, here are things that we think are good, and look at them. There's 13 tasks. If you don't agree with all 13, fine. 11 of the 13 were being worked on before this study ever even came to light, before it was ever a conversation. For them to blanket cancel it like they did is where I think Park Board can make the statement that we've got stuff we've been working on. We think it would be beneficial to our community, beneficial to our community members to go and look at these, whether they're looking at them one at a time, whether they come to you guys and sit down and go, okay, which ones do you like? Either way. But I think as a board, you guys have the ability to encourage them to hit the pause button for a second and go, okay, hey, here's some good things that you're ignoring right now. So that's my 2 cents. I had shot for not saying very much tonight, and I went and said more than that. So.
Do we have to apply ahead of time to be on the agenda?
To have an agenda spot, yes.
Okay, so how far in advance do we have to request to be on the agenda?
If you were shooting for the 13th meeting, that would probably work out fine. The drawback would be is you're going to meet at 4 o'clock on the 13th, right? So meeting at 4 and then trying to be on the agenda that night is a little tough if you're going to push the vote back.
But our next meeting is it on the 13th?
No, today's.
Because we're late this
7
month.
days later.
Oh, it is the
22nd.
13th.
I was thinking it was the second Monday.
Yeah, it'd still
It's
be the
Monday,
second
yeah.
Monday.
Yeah,
It'll be the
it
second
is.
Monday.
Because we pushed it back.
We pushed it back because of
Right, but that's on the 13th.
Eclipse.
We moved the one
Last
because of
one
the
was on the
eclipse
8th.
day or
May
something.
They're on the eclipse this month.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, May. I'm talking about their next one.
Council's next meeting is the 22nd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was talking about.
I have Parks and Rec on May the 13th.
Sorry, I thought we were talking about council meeting.
And then
Oh,
there'll be a
both.
council
They're-
meeting
they're
at that
both on
same
the
time.
13th.
yeah, it'll be a council meeting at the same
But
time.
the next council meeting is the 22nd, right?
Next, a
Yes.
week from today.
Yeah,
Week
yeah.
from today. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was saying.
So to clarify, I think just so I'm tracking and keeping it right. Mayor Matt was just saying that instead of going with the requests of 1, 2, 6, whatever, specific things that were in the Brookings study that involved the Parks Department, we could be going to council as Parks Board requesting that they review the Brookings study for the things that are pertinent to not just the Parks Department, but, you know, probably our city and community overall, and rethink the things that are, in our case, limiting the Parks Department from being able to move forward effectively with their work. Is that right, Mayor Matt?
That sounded pretty close, Tim.
That's what I heard. I think that sounds like a good idea. But sorry, Tim, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, you didn't interrupt. I just wanted to make sure that I was like hearing it correctly, because they were two different ways of approaching the council. And I think the latter is great. What Mayor Matt suggested. I'd love to be there next Monday, the 22nd, if that's the evening that we feel like we could go and represent Parks Department. I actually will be out of town for a work trip, but if we were to even wait for the next, I could probably make that work.
Could we just ask if they'd consider
But it-
revisiting the
be
master
tomorrow.
plan? So we don't have to pick and choose out of it, you know what I mean? And then we could like everyone get another like even picture, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Versus like trying to handpick.
You can ask them whatever version you want. If you ask them for the master plan, just remember there's still 5 items that even if they go in your master plan, they are not doable because of
The resolution, I understand.
So,
And I think Matt's suggestion of kind of letting the city council decide what they think might be useful or important, maybe that's the way to go. Instead of letting us decide and picking between 1 or 2 of 6 items, we take it to them and say, we would like you to review all of these and let us do at least some of them and let them guide what can be done.
I like that.
anybody want to make a motion
Oh.
related to any of that?
That's what I was gonna say. So do we need to like have a motion or a resolution that the board is going to present to city council? Or I don't know how this works.
Yeah, I mean, I would encourage you to make a motion however you want to word it. That way it can then be forwarded on.
I'll make a motion that we, I don't know, how do you say it? That we request city council review the resolution in the aspect of the 5-year plan. And related to the 5-year plan? I don't know.
But the 5-year plan, that's still limiting it, right?
Well, then
That-
someone
that
else could make a
only-
motion then maybe.
Right. But I'm just asking because honestly, I don't fully understand. So if we were to just talk about the 5-year plan, that only covers a few of the 6 things. Is that correct?
It only covers one of the 6, Monica.
Okay. Thank you. Like I said, I didn't read ahead of time. I didn't do my homework.
Anybody want to second that motion?
I'll second it.
Is there any more discussion before we vote on it?
So we're making a motion here on the floor to go to council to vote or to ask them for their support for the 5-year plan. And even if they say yes, that we can pursue our 5-year plan because of their resolution, we can't proceed with the items out of the 5-year
Right.
plan.
Right,
That doesn't make sense.
Right.
it doesn't.
Like, we're asking them to say, can we please proceed with our 5-year plan, knowing that the items in our 5-year plan are mentioned in what we can't be doing.
Well, I think we're asking for an exception to their rule. Like we're saying we know that this goes against the resolution that you made, but we're hoping you'll let us do this one thing, make an exception for us because we're the Parks Board and we were already planning on it and whatever.
I don't see any harm in just asking to proceed with a 5-year plan so that we have projects we can work towards, even if it's not the projects that the majority wanted to see being worked on right now. But at least we can get a master plan.
But some of the projects on the master plan we're already in
Right,
the
I
middle
know.
of. That's the only thing.
I know, but can we just ask to, I just want to be able to do a new master plan for when this one comes up.
And just
And
leave
leave-
out all of these that have already been worked on.
Is that the only way to do it? We can't just have a new master plan?
You won't be able to
And
work
can't
on
we
the other
inc-
5 items if you do. That's the thing, you can put all
So you have to have,
these
it's all or
into-
nothing.
Yeah,
Yes.
basically.
Okay.
Basically.
Got you.
Well, I think we should give them all 6 of them and approach them with, you know, we would ask you to look this over.
I think
And,
ask for them all.
We, as the park department people,
That's it.
yeah,
That's
and
it.
then,
Go and say that we believe this is a good value to our community and we have a lot in this plan for the parks that would be really good for our community.
and I think once they look this over, they might say, hey, you know, there's nothing in this that's, you know, controversial, I don't think. And maybe we should give the park board the go-ahead to, even though it was in that plan, but this is, I think that's what we need to do.
And then,
As-
There is currently a motion on the floor. Would we like to vote on that, or would it like to be retracted and we could
yeah,
make
retract that. Just retract it and start over to what Art just said. I'm just gonna sit here quietly.
So I would suggest that we, as a board, come up with a letter to the council and review it and present it that says that we believe solidly in the items that are here in the study and this is what we want to do and why, and take that letter to the council and present it as this is our, you know, solid support of what we would like to see.
All they can do
Is
is
there a
tell us
motion?
no.
No, exactly, and then they would either agree or disagree.
Yeah.
All you're doing is
And
asking for them
then
to review it.
they're saying no to the parks items, not all or nothing, right? Like then they have to go on the record and say, we're voting, you know, to hold back the parks.
Kendra, would you like to make a motion?
Sure, I'll make a motion that we draft a garnering letter of support for the items in the Brookings study that have to do with Park and Rec and present it in a review session to the board and then eventually present it to the city council for our support of the items.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, Tim. All in favor of Kendra's motion, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay. Then we will, I guess, get to work on that. Chad, I'm assuming that you and I will probably need to work on that, and the rest of the board can too. But I'm gonna need some help.
So we're shooting for May the 13th. That's when we're going before the city council. That's a Monday night.
Yes. That's a
What
Monday
time
night.
they start, Matt?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Can I make a motion to adjourn? Is that allowed?
Yeah,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll
thank you.
second it.
Thank you. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?